Op has so many red flags in her relationship that she could flag down a UFO from another galaxy, and she's desperate for help to escape. Posted by you/confused167. Sorry it's so long, but if anyone has the time to read it and reply, I'd be incredibly grateful. Throwaway account because I'm petrified he will see it. Me, 26F, boyfriend, 27M. I met my boyfriend while I was on holiday 3 months ago. The intensity of the feelings convinced me it was love at first sight. He was full of grand proclamations of undying love, saying I am his everything and his reason for living. He said I'm his soulmate, that he wants to marry me, have children, the works. He would preach about me to anyone who would listen, including his mum, telling her, to her surprise and delight, that he had met the one. Back from holiday, after 2 months of talking constantly, he lost his job and convinced me to give up everything to move to his country because he needs me. With plans to relax, get to know each other, save some money, and travel the world, it sounded like an exciting adventure. I was in a dead-end job and not particularly happy with how my life was panning out, so it seemed like a win-win situation. I realized that this in itself is red flag valley, but he really seems so different. Everyone loves him because he has such a charismatic and happy personality. He comes across as intelligent and pure. At least, that's what I thought until I arrived here 4 weeks ago. 1. On day 3, he convinced me to get hair extensions because he likes long hair. 2. He doesn't tell me what to wear, but he makes me feel uncomfortable if I wear something he doesn't like. 3. He suddenly decided I'm too pale and need to spend an hour in the sun every day. 4. When we have sex, he can be a bit too rough. I tell him if he's hurting me, but instead of stopping, he just makes me feel abnormal, saying things like, girls usually like me doing it like this, and, you just need to relax and then you'll enjoy it. 5. He broached the topic of backdoor sex and got angry when I said I didn't want to do it. He said, you know how important it is to me, which came as a surprise because I've always said I didn't want to do it from day one. 6. I got thrush after a week. He told me the symptoms were in my brain and I needed to cure it with positive thinking, that is, until he caught the thrush and went absolutely crazy. He freaked out, saying he'd never had anything like this before. I tried explaining to him it was nothing to worry about, but he wasn't having any of it. The next day, he made me go to the hospital. I felt incredibly anxious because I don't speak the language of this country, and he was speaking to the doctor in his language, and I had no idea what was going on. The doctor gestured for me to take off my underwear, and I was just crying from feeling so humiliated. Thrush confirmed, medication given, you'd think that would be enough, no? No. 1 day later, still a bit irritated down there, he marched me to a different doctor who, perplexed, rightly told him we need to give the medication time. Still not enough, he called his mother, who told him it's normal and he should apologize to me. Yet after all this, every time we have any kind of discussion, he will bring it up, telling me I am not normal. He keeps wanting to inspect me. It's humiliating. He pulls me apart to have a thorough look and then tells me he won't have sex with me because I'm too dry, too red, not normal. He says that no girl he has ever been with has had thrush and that it's a problem with me. He's made me a gynecological appointment at the hospital against my will because he wants me to get help for my fungal problem. I can't describe how dirty he is making me feel because of this. I still feel incredibly ashamed and scared that I'm not normal. 7. He made me tell him everything about myself and my past because he wanted to feel close to me, but it feels like he is just using it against me. I told him about how I had body dysmorphia as a teenager and how I would stand in front of the mirror analyzing and belittling myself. Then suddenly, one evening, he made me stand in front of the mirror, naked, and wouldn't let me leave the room until I looked into my eyes in the mirror and said, I love you. I had to do it until he felt that I meant it. 8. He wants me to use the toilet, pee, with him there. The first time he brought it up, I told him I felt too uncomfortable to do it, but he got offended that I wasn't comfortable around him, so he wouldn't leave the bathroom until I did it. 9. He criticizes my posture. When we walk to the supermarket, he lightly hits my upper back every time I slouch to remind me to stand up straight. 10. I wore flip-flops one time, and we were walking up a steep hill, so obviously they made a bit of noise. He looked at me in disgust, asking why I was stomping like a child and why I couldn't walk properly. 11. We never go out unless we are going to the supermarket or gym. I feel like I'm getting cabin fever. Whenever I mention exploring, because it's a new country and I haven't seen anything, he makes me feel bad. He says he didn't think I was so material and didn't realize I needed things to make me happy. He says his company should be enough for me. 12. A week ago, at random, he wanted to know why I haven't been fulfilling my womanly duties. Turns out, he expects a woman to get up hours before him in the morning, clean, do laundry, prepare his breakfast, and then wake him up when it's ready. I was really shocked at this and told him I don't agree with gender roles and it should be 50-50, and he looked at me like I'm some kind of alien, but it's what a woman does. You're a woman, it's normal. You should want to do it, and you should do it smiling and with love. He said all of his exes did it without question, making me feel like I'm not a real woman and that I'm abnormal for thinking otherwise. 13. A week ago, he decided I was losing weight, I don't think I have, and has started making me go to the gym. He says he wants me to get big legs and a big bum like the women from his native country and is making me eat sickening amounts to achieve this. The other day, he made me eat a ridiculous portion of pasta. I felt like I was going to be sick, but he said, just look into my eyes and eat, don't think about it, and made me finish it all. 14. He's now decided I'm not allowed to eat meat, because he's an overnight vegetarian, and no sugar, because of my supposed fungal problem. 15. This week, I got a common cold, and once again, he marched me to the hospital. That's right, hospital for a cold. He's decided I'm a very sickly person with a lot of problems and looks at me like I'm a basket case. He says I'm not normal, that I make myself ill with negative thinking. Now would probably be a good time to mention that he thinks people die from cancer unnecessarily because they could cure themselves with their brain. 16. Prior to the move, he told me he smoked pot, which I didn't like, but he assured me it was only when he wanted to meditate and think deeply about life. It turns out that's nearly every day. He keeps pressuring me into smoking with him even though I don't want to. He inhales it himself and then exhales the smoke into my mouth to make sure I do it properly. 17. A week ago, during one of these pot-induced meditations, he suddenly sat upright and told me he realizes he can't promise me forever. He said he realizes he was lost when he met me but now he is found. Disturbingly, he has said that he has found himself a few times now. I tried questioning him, and he said I am trying to play games with his head. 18. He's decided he wants children in 6 months. I asked, what about the traveling? And he said, I don't care about that anymore. I just want my family now. Though according to him, we both need to have a DNA test prior to conceiving to check that we are compatible. 19. Recently, he dropped the bombshell that he doesn't trust me and never has. In his words, I think you're going to cheat on me every second. I have never given him any reason not to trust me, I'm an incredibly loyal person. I've been cheated on in the past and couldn't do that to anyone. He started saying he thinks I've only moved to the country because I had another man here, I don't see when I'd have the time since I'm with him every second. He said he never had this trust issue with any other girlfriend and therefore he thinks he hasn't got trust issues in general, it's just a problem with me. 20. He started telling me he's noticed a man following us, and he's convinced this man wants me. That night, he came into the bedroom with a hammer and locked the door, saying, you never know who could get in. 21. He's gotten really funny about me using my phone. He doesn't understand why I want to talk to my family so much because, according to him, he is my family now. I feel like I have to hide in the bathroom to text my family or do it with him watching to avoid arguments. 22. He demanded to see my phone one time, completely out of the blue. I was defensive and said no, even though I had nothing to hide. I wish I had just given it to him now. The angry look in his eyes scared me, I've never seen anything like it. He kept shouting, get out. I was crying because it was dark, and I didn't know where I'd go. Don't care, get out. It wasn't until I broke down in tears and started shaking from the fear of being out on the streets in a foreign country that he changed in the blink of an eye, stroking my hair and telling me everything would be okay. 23. He said that he's going to start implementing a point system so when I do things wrong, I'll lose points. He says I'm not learning from my mistakes, and this is the only way he knows how to show me when I do something wrong. He also said he's going to put tests in my way, and it's up to me whether I pass them and show him I'm trustworthy, or run into the trap like a rat. 24. He says that in order for him to trust me, I need to do everything he says without question, and that he and I need to be one. He said for this relationship to work, I need to be his shadow. 25. He says that I have a lot of problems, I'm too negative, and I argue too much. He suggested putting up cameras around the apartment so, and I quote, you can watch how you behave, which I find insensitive considering he knows my issues and knows I hate having pictures and videos taken. The problem is, I really don't think I am negative. Sure, I have become anxious and negative because of all the things that have happened, but I really didn't think my problems were anything abnormal. It drives me crazy when he says we have arguments because I haven't shouted once. I only ever try to calmly question why he says or does something horrible or contradictory, and that is his definition of me being argumentative. 26. He says a lot of contradictory things, and anytime I question his behavior or just try to resolve a disagreement in an adult, healthy way, he tells me I am a dramatic girl. When I get upset about things he said, he gets upset, saying that he would never say anything to hurt me. Everything he says is to help me because he just wants me to believe in myself and love myself. There's more, but this is already way too long. I'm really sorry, I'm just going out of my mind. The way he is in public versus behind closed doors is polar opposite, and he's convinced me that I am the one making him act this way. He's made me feel like I'm abnormal in so many ways. It's making me question everything about myself, and I'm starting to wonder if it is all my fault and if I am abnormal. I've made a big move. All I wanted was support and patience while I settled, but I don't feel like he has any patience or empathy at all. Please give me some outsider perspective on this. I feel like I'm going crazy. Commenter. Do not have sex with this man. The last thing you want is to get pregnant. Holy F, this is scary. You need to go home. Are you able to book a flight? Can you leave while he's at work? Ops response. Tonight is the first time we've been apart in 4 weeks. He's gone to see a friend, one of his only friends. I'm surprised he trusts me to be alone. Usually, I'm with him every second, quite literally. It's 9:15 p.m. here, and it's dark. I wouldn't even know where to go to find a taxi because the place he chose for us to live is a very quiet part of the country, and there aren't many people around in the evening. I don't speak the language. I feel overwhelmed. What's worse is that he knows my mother's home address because he sent me flowers while we were long distance. I'm feeling extremely anxious right now. Update 1 day later. So, he came home last night, and I pretended to be asleep. I didn't know what else to do. I felt paralyzed. Then, very early this morning, he was looking at me suspiciously, telling me I seemed very nervous, which made me feel even more unnerved because I wondered if he knew what was going on. I was shaking, and he asked, "Why are you being like this? It's like you think I'm going to hit you or something." That triggered something in me. I thought, this is it, I'm trapped, and I broke down crying, which led him to storm into the bedroom, slamming the door. But then, a little while later, he opened the door and asked me to come in. His mood had done a complete 180, he was almost too calm, possibly even sad. Out of the blue, he said we couldn't go on like this anymore. He said I was crying all the time, too negative, and discussing too much, aka questioning his behavior too much. He told me he realized 2 days ago, during a meditation, that it isn't our destiny to be together. He said I wasn't the person he had created in his brain when he met me. His exact words were, "I created an angel, and then you opened your mouth." He said he was losing more patience with me every second, and even though I'd done a lot for him, it wasn't enough. He said he loved himself and was happy all the time, so he needed someone who was the same, as well as a real woman, cooking and cleaning every day. He said his brain went crazy around me, and he couldn't deal with it anymore. His parting words were, "Believe in yourself, love yourself." I found myself getting more upset and confused, but instead of following my inclination to bargain with him, I truly can't explain it, I tried to remember the things I had read online and played along, just in case this was some kind of test or manipulative behavior. I packed as quickly as I could, though I was in such a daze that I'm pretty sure I left things behind. The whole time I was packing, he stayed sitting on the bed, just staring at the wall, not moving once. And then I left. No fight, no struggle, no words, nothing. I felt paranoid, waiting for something to happen, for him to react, to set some kind of trap, but nothing. I simply walked away. I had spent all night thinking about which exit strategy to use, but he made it so easy. He, in essence, was the one to let me go. I'm not complaining, but Jesus, it's left me even more confused. My mom knows everything. I sent her the link to this post, as someone suggested. She's absolutely mortified but just wants to get me home. She's booked me a flight back to England for this evening and stayed on the phone with me while I found a taxi to get to the airport. I have a long wait ahead of me, but my mom said she'd rather know I'm at the airport, surrounded by people, than anywhere near him. So, I thought I'd use this opportunity to update you all because you've been so supportive. I'm really overwhelmed by all the messages and advice. I wasn't expecting it, but truly, thank you for your kindness. Right now, I'm just sitting in the airport, shell-shocked, wondering what the hell just happened. I reread my original post and no, I haven't exaggerated anything. Everything happened exactly as I said. Actually, even more than those 26 things happened. If anything, I omitted details to keep the post short. But the way he acted this morning wasn't what I was expecting. From reading your replies, it's not what you were expecting either, and it's completely thrown me off guard. Honestly, I feel almost ashamed to tell you what happened in case you also find it odd and question me, as I am questioning myself right now. I know it doesn't excuse everything he's done, but does it give you a different perspective? Does this say more about me than him? Or is this manipulation, trying to shift the blame onto me? I know he can't bear the thought of anyone thinking badly of him, he wants to be idolized too much. Maybe it's something his friend said. Or maybe I really have been at fault all along because I keep thinking, if he's that controlling, why wouldn't he try to keep me there? Unless he realized he couldn't control me the way he expected. Please don't shoot me down for saying these things. I don't know. I don't understand how this has played out, and I'm desperately trying to make sense of it. I feel like a TV crew is going to walk out at any moment, telling me this has all been some kind of sick joke. I'm not purposefully trying to sound naive or idiotic, I'm just finding it extremely hard to think logically, or think at all, for that matter. I mean, his last words to me were that he wants me to believe in myself and love myself, for Christ's sake. I feel so confused and ashamed. My brain has whiplash from the roller coaster of his multifaceted personality and feels even more scrambled right now. Nothing is sinking in. Second update 1 day later. I had a lot of people asking me to post that I got home safely, so I just wanted to take the time to let you know that I am home, safe with my wonderful mom. To everyone who has responded, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You showed me compassion when I needed it most, and, in the end, your advice was the wake-up call I needed. It gave me more strength than you will ever know. Thank you 1,000 times, from me and my mom. Commenter. OMG, yes, good job. I'm over here screaming. I have legitimately never been so scared for an internet stranger in my life. I am so glad for this update. Also, excellent decision to tell your mom. You absolutely need good people in your life to support you. Notice how your mom didn't shame you, all she said was, come home. She gets it. Everybody here gets it too. We can't all be wrong, right? Don't be ashamed. Listen, you've been in a war. You're going to question yourself right now and worry that it's your fault. That's textbook abuse. When you get the time, look into therapy with a licensed professional who specializes in domestic violence and personality disorders. It sounds like your ex devalued you because you couldn't live up to his lofty expectations. It's a mind game. He said it to make you think there's something wrong with you, a parting jab to get at you. He's a lunatic and a jerk. He lied to you about so many things, why would you believe him on this? He has no idea your mom is flying you back. In his mind, you're out wandering the streets, lost without him. He's expecting you to come crawling back when you realize how perfect he is. He will contact you again. Just ignore him.